All right, what is up, single guy food gang? I don't know, what do we call ourselves? Today I'm gonna teach you how to make hard-boiled eggs, right? If you're gonna make deviled eggs, or you just like hard-boiled eggs in the morning for breakfast, that's my go-to. You can hear my dog shaking himself in the very close proximity here. Anyway. So we're going to talk about how I make the hard-boiled eggs. If you boil them too long, you're going to get this green coating around the center, around the yolk, and you don't want that. You want it to be nice and yellow all the way through. So I'm going to just give you a quick demonstration on how we do this, how we get them cooked perfectly. So all you need for this is eggs. I'm just using 12 eggs from Eggland's Best. I'm gonna use this, I think it's like a skimmer or something, and then a pot. A lot of times when you look up how to make hard-boiled eggs online, they're gonna tell you to put the eggs in the pot, fill the pot with water to about 1 inch over the eggs. And then put it on the stove and let it boil for however long you want them to boil, you know, based off of your preference. Here's the problem with that. Not all pots are created equal. So some pots are gonna heat up faster than others. So if you've got a pot that heats up faster than another pot, then your eggs are gonna cook a lot faster. So if you set it for 10 minutes and then your eggs actually cook faster, you're still gonna get that green area around the yolk, whatever. So you don't wanna do that. What you want to do is fill your pot with water first, put it on the stove, bring it to a boil. Once it starts boiling, that's when you add your eggs using the skimmer, nice and slow, nice and easy. Lower them in there, and then I usually do 10 minutes. Depending on how done you want your eggs will determine the time. If you do 10 minutes, they're usually right. They're just coming out of like a gooey stage and starting to solidify in the middle. And so that's what you're looking for. That's gonna give you the best results. Let's go and let's get this started. We've filled up the pot with water. Now, I put in enough water to make sure that it covers the eggs completely, and then I probably put in about an inch over, right? We all know what an egg looks like. So use your best estimate. What you don't want is to put in too little water. And then what happens when you put in too little water is by the time it gets to boiling, that water, a lot of water has evaporated, and then it's going to be lower in your pan and it's not going to cover your eggs. So it's okay if you add quite a bit of water to this. It's just going to take longer to reach boiling temperature if you do that. But it's all good. Okay, so for this, I put it on high heat. Once you hear it boiling, that's when we're going to come over and add the eggs. If you haven't already, please, like and subscribe to the channel, click that notification bell. I'll be dropping stuff like this as often as I can, where I'm just talking to you about, some easy stuff to make, as well as getting into more advanced things. So again, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. All right, so that's what our water looks like. It's getting close to boiling, right? You can see these little bubbles starting to form at the bottom, and they're slowly rising up to the top. You'll know when it's boiling because you're gonna hear it, and it's gonna be doing this way more rapid, way faster, okay? So we're just gonna come back in a couple more minutes and check it out and see where we are. All right, that is boiling water right there. It's time for us to start adding the eggs. When you're getting eggs at the store, you want to open them up while you're there, and you want to check to see if any of them are cracked or looking like they're going to crack before you buy them and bring them home. You also want to double check the date on them just to make sure that they aren't expired. And there's the date. Okay, so I'm going to be doing this with one hand because I'm holding the camera. But basically, you put in 4 eggs into this little basket thing here. And then we're going to gently lower them into the boiling water. Because you have to be mindful, these eggs can easily hit that bottom and they're gonna crack. And if they crack, you're gonna know it because you're gonna see the eggs, like the inside of the eggs start coming out and running around there, and it's gonna look like a cloud, okay? And you're gonna also notice, here's the next batch of 4. You're also gonna notice that the more eggs you add in, the less it's gonna boil, right? Because you are quickly cooling that temperature. And right there, you can see right there, that egg must have had some sort of a crack in it. And when I put it in, it just gave out. Okay, here's the last batch of 4. Instead of having 12 eggs, we're down to 11, which is fine. We're just gonna use these, you know, to eat in the morning for breakfast at work, get that protein in you. And as you can see, the water has completely stopped boiling at this point. We're gonna let these sit here now. I'm gonna leave the heat right where it's at because I'm gonna kind of monitor this. So I'm gonna set the timer for 10 minutes and I'm gonna leave these eggs in there, and I'm not gonna mess with the heat unless that gets back up to boiling again. All right, so we've got about 4 minutes left for these eggs. I just turned the heat down a little bit, and now you can see all this stuff, and it came from that egg right there. So that egg cracked and the insides were coming out, and then it created that cloud. So we're just gonna get rid of that egg as well. We're gonna get rid of this cloud here, this little egg white. We're gonna get rid of that so it's not floating around in there. But now we're good to go. None of the eggs are floating. None of the other eggs seem to be cracked. If this was, you know, like a Food Network video, they would have cut all that stuff out. I don't want to do that. I want you guys to learn right along with me. I should have done a better job at checking those eggs for cracks, and I didn't. And so I'm 2 eggs down. The next time we come back over here, the eggs should be ready to be pulled. So what's going to happen is we will pull them off the stove. I'm going to drain as much of that hot water as I can, and then I'm just going to add cold water back into that pan, dump it, add cold water. The easier way to do this is to fill up like another pan with ice cubes, and then fill that with water, and then give the eggs an ice bath. But I don't have another thing to put these in right this moment. I think it's in my dishwasher, and I'm not gonna wash it for me, for this video. I'm not gonna wash it. I'm just gonna tell you what you should do. If you have another container, fill it with ice, put water in there, make it cold as can be, and then give your eggs an ice bath. Let them sit in there, let them chill. It's gonna bring that internal heat temperature down, and it'll stop cooking them. All right. We are bringing a pot of boiling, super hot water, and we're just gonna dump this stuff. I'm using a towel to go on both handles because even though these handles have a rubber grip on them, they are freaking hot. Now, you do not want any of your eggs falling into the sink. Well, this kind of sink, because there's a garbage disposal there, and your eggs will fall into the garbage disposal. So right now what I'm doing is I am adding super cold water into this pan. I want to get this pan full of cold water so that I can start to chill these eggs down. I'm going to dump I doubt these ice cubes are gonna do me any good, but we're gonna dump some ice cubes in there and just let that cold water fill it up. And then I'm gonna let this sit for 5 minutes. After 5 minutes, I'm gonna reach in, grab an egg, and I'm gonna see if it's still warm. If it's still warm to the touch, then I need to let them go a little bit longer. Okay, so it's cold to the touch. So I don't think it's cooking anymore. So now, here is the moment of truth, okay? Here's the moment of truth. Did this egg get that green coloring around the yolk? You know what I mean. Or is it a nice bright yellow, kind of flaky, kind of just now crossing over from being liquid to being a solid? And also, hey, so here is how I peel my eggs. There is a huge debate on how you peel eggs, like what method you use that's easier, that works every time. Some people say, leave your eggs in the refrigerator for 7 days or whatever, and then hard boil them, and then they'll peel easier. I mean, I don't understand that logic, because if you think about it, how long did it take for that egg to get from the farm to the grocery store, and then it sat in the grocery store until you came along and picked it up? How many days was that? Like, that wasn't yesterday, right? This egg isn't yesterday old. Maybe it is, I don't know. I've never noticed that helping anyways. I noticed that the method that I just walked you through seems to help me a lot, because sometimes when you peel eggs, if the shell and the membrane between the shell and the egg is for whatever reason not separated well enough, it'll peel chunks of the white off. So I don't know. I think the way that I just did it works the best. So let's see. The first thing I do is drop it all over on a harder surface so that you get all these cracks. You probably can't pick that up on the camera, but you get all of these cracks in there, right? And then give it a little bit of a roll to help separate it. Then you get in there. Don't stab yourself. And then you peel. Look at that. Look at that. Look at how easy that was. I just bought these today. They didn't sit in the refrigerator for 7 days. I just bought them today. Some people even recommend adding vinegar to the water or something. I didn't do any of that. And maybe that works for them, but for me, this method works the best is when you bring the water to a boil before you drop the eggs in. That seems to work the best for me. And then, just drop it a few times on a hard surface, give it a roll, and then it peels just like that. What'd that take, 10 seconds? Now I'm gonna just rinse it off, make sure there's no shell on it, that's all. Okay. Here we go. Here is the moment of truth. Did 10 minutes do the trick, or am I gonna have to tell you guys I should have cooked them longer? Or is it gonna have the green film around it? Look at that. Look at that. You see? Can you see it, camera? Can you see this? There you go. Focus. No green. No green. No green. That is how you hard-boiled eggs to the right temperature. You don't get that green that green coating from cooking it too long in there. The eggs still taste good. There's nothing I would tell you I would do different, except for I would have done a better job inspecting the eggs for cracks, which that I did not do, unfortunately. But hey, look, if you took the time to watch this video, take an additional second or two and click on that subscribe button, click on the like button, click on the notification bell. And this was my first sort of like a quick hitter video where I'm not making a meal, I just did something I thought could kind of help people out. Tell me another quick hitter that I should do. Remember, quick hitter would be like how to hard boil an egg, how to sharpen a knife, how to chop an onion without crying. I don't know, something like that. How to make a hot sauce. Those would be like quick hitters, these one-off videos. So yeah, shoot, just comment down below and let me know what kind of quick hitter you want to see me do next. In the meantime, thanks for watching Single Guy Food. Get out there, cook something. Let me know what you cooked and how it was. Take it easy and be safe.